Louis Miller is a character from Mac the Knife. But anyway, lots of papers, lots of bits. All the crew's here. All their panellists are ready to come on. And these are the letters that they're going to be discussing tonight. How are my children supposed to ever enjoy the security of a beautiful home in suburbia as we enjoyed them when we were growing up? Because everything's got far too expensive now. Whose fault is it? We'll find out. The truth is, ugly, 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 especially in his budgie smugglers. Who are they talking about? How do you reckon? Last letter tonight, you can't marry two people. Sounds like fun, but you just can't in Australia. You can't marry two people. In other nations, you can marry more than two people. Why should you think, though, it's okay to have two boyfriends if you can't marry two people? A parent writes in, they're the letters for tonight. We're going to bring in the panellists. And don't go away, 20 seconds and we'll start chatting. See you soon. Bye for now. I'm not allowed to do that, am I?
Got a problem, big or small, would a miracle be nice? Our motley crew is back, churning out advice. You might even laugh a bit in the following half hour. Park your backside on the couch, cause baby it's time for Sweet and Sour. Right here on Sweet and Sour.
Well, I clapped. I don't know whether anybody else did. Welcome to Sweet and Sour. Lovely to have your company. Gary Mitchell with you for the next half hour. Who's in? Some quick hellos. Hello, Paulo.
Hello, Gary.
Welcome, mate.
I'm glad to be here again.
It's always good to have you in, mate. We've also got, is the camera moving along quickly? Hello, Candice.
Hi.
How are you?
Good, nice to be here.
Good, nice to have you. Also, let's do this really quickly. Are you over here now? Come on, we're going to Anita. Hello, Anita. Oh, we did get there quickly.
Hello, Mitch. That was quick enough.
That was very quick. Good to have you here. And Daniel, who's our first timer on the panel. Hello, Daniel.
Hi, Mitch. How are you going?
Where's home for you?
Adelaide at the moment.
Adelaide.
I grew up
Ooh.
in Perth, though.
We've got some interstaters here. All right, we're going
related as well.
straight into letter one. You're not allowed to tell people that. Nepotism.
That's right.
Here
I'll
we
hold
go.
that.
First letter titled Give Me Land. No, Gimme Land. How are my children, dear Mitch and panellists, how are my children supposed to ever enjoy the security of a beautiful home in suburbia as we enjoyed when we were growing up? Look, I understand that we can't live on a quarter-acre block as we called them before, but even so, these dog box apartments that we all are being pushed into have astronomical price tags on them. How can this possibly be? They crowd so many of these little units onto these sites, you'd expect a much smaller price tag, but nothing of the sort. I've seen the profits these building developers make. Why have we allowed this to happen? Why have we accepted without a blink a path that will place our youth in debt for the rest of their lives? Who's responsible for this terrible plight? What's the answer here to correct housing affordability for the next generation? Brian of Roleystone in WA. Yeah, it's pretty pricey in WA, but it's pretty pricey everywhere in Australia. Paulo, what's going on here?
Oh, you just want the answer, do you? Just the answer to Brian's problem. Well, Brian, I'm glad you came. Look, there is no simple answer. And if you're looking for someone to blame, it's successive governments who didn't actually do any forward planning, didn't see the fact that Western Australia would grow so quickly. I mean, who wouldn't have seen that? I mean,
But it's not just WA, it's everywhere.
well, no, it is probably worse here in Western Australia because we had such a rapid growth and it pushed the price of housing through the roof. And a lot of people say, well, that happened before and everyone sort of adapted, but incomes haven't grown at the same rate as housing prices. So we are now giving up more of our income to mortgages, a percentage of our income to mortgages here in WA than anywhere else in the state, in the country. And the problem, you're not going to like this, Brian, but the actual answer, one of the answers to your problem here is more high density housing. So we're talking about towers, we're talking about more apartments, but you are correct. There is not a lot of land being released, which actually causes a greater cost per unit when they build. So the land at the base is so astronomically high that to recoup their money and make a profit, whichever size they want, they have to charge a certain amount for each apartment. So that's, yeah, it is...
It's bizarre.
It is a strange situation we find ourselves here in WA.
I read the other day too that, and it was on the front page of the Financial Review last Thursday, that apartments are being released for sale in Australia in China before they're actually being made available here. So
Yeah,
that
for foreign
demand
investment. Yeah.
is just going to make it that much harder. Send the price.
It's another one of
further
those
up.
slippery fish in that
Oh,
barrel.
it's ridiculous. Why is that allowed to happen? What's the answer?
Look, we do what our parents did and what our grandparents did. Just
But
like
it's so much harder for this
maybe
generation.
it is. I don't know. I haven't been around that many
It
generations.
is. Everyone's telling you. It's like, and I read this the other day, that the price of a house now is like 8 times an average year's salary, whereas
easily plus that.
40 years ago, it was like 4 times the 1 year's salary.
Yeah.
But on top of everything else, the houses went from a quarter-acre block with a decent house to into these little apartments that Paul was talking about. It's
tell you,
tiny, so everything's really so expensive for what you're getting.
I tell you, I mean, we've got a home. We moved further away from the city than we'd like to move. We spend more of our income on the mortgage than we'd like to. And people of my generation stay at home longer, into their 30s in many cases, to save up the money for their deposits so that they can make this a reality. And the other social phenomena linked with this, and I don't know whether there's been any studies, but this is just my personal sort of correlation. We're getting married later. We're having children later or not at all, because we simply can't afford these things. Because we've decided to,
expensive.
live our lives, maybe go and travel and then save up for a home.
What are you doing? Are you saving up for a home?
Yeah, I am actually, but I feel that you're saying it's definitely more expensive closer to the city. Like Candice said, it is affordable and there's a lot out there, but you do need to travel outside a little bit further away from the city, where you can get pretty much close to an acreage block if you want.
How much out of the cities do you have to go?
40 an hour out. But the thing is though, with all the infrastructure happening, like this train line going all the way to Yanchep, it's possible to buy a 4-bedroom, 3-bathroom, beautiful home for under 450,000. And with that train line, you're only going to be on the train for 30 minutes, 25 minutes max, which is shorter time period if you're in peak hour traffic in the middle of the city. So I think there's ways where we need to adjust our way of living.
Isn't that amazing? You've just accepted $450,000 as a normal price to live miles, an hour away from the city.
Well, there is ones that are.
We are sucked in by the marketing and the banks.
You can get 3 bedrooms up that end for about 280 to 300,000.
Should be the average. What's the answer here, Daniel? Who's responsible?
Mitch, I'm so glad Brian of Rolling Stone has asked this question because it's a huge problem. It's a huge problem. And I'm from Adelaide. I think this is a problem everywhere, not just in Perth, train line to Yanchep notwithstanding. This problem is a problem everywhere. But why is it a problem? I agree with Paul when he was talking about failures of successive governments, but what is it? I think it's the concessions that we give, the government gives to property owners and property investors. I was reading something like $43 billion a year. 43 billion goes to property owners, property investors as subsidies or mostly as subsidies. But that is a huge amount. We only spend the debt I think is only about 30 billion. Education only costs about 30 billion. So to be spending 43 billion a year in property subsidies, I think that's outrageous. And so for me, that is a key component of why house prices are so unaffordable in Australia at the moment across the country.
Developers and banks, which we didn't even touch on, and they're releasing so much more credit. And that was one of the things I heard the other day too. The availability of credit has just pushed the price right through the roof. When we come back, we're talking about probably someone who's responsible for a lot of this mess. Mr. Abbott, somebody thinks he's ugly, ugly, ugly. Don't go away, more of Sweet and Sour. See you soon. Welcome back to Sweet and Sour. If you'd like to send us a letter, send it to the address that's appearing on your screen right now, or at least it should be. There it is, letters@sweetandsour.net.au, or you can even look us up on the website, which is sweetandsour.net.au. We even have a Facebook page now, which is facebook.com So why do I have to read all this out? Sweet and sour, you can find it yourselves, I'm sure of it. And we can even tweet. There you go. And for everyone that does send in, and we do discuss on the panel, we're going to send you to the movies courtesy of our very gorgeous Natalie O'Shea, right?
That's it.
Not Natalie Cameron. And the movie we're sending you to, well, you just saw it flash up there, is Grace of Monaco. Has anyone seen it?
Yeah.
Did you? It's a great show, isn't it? And you recommend everybody to see it. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge, says this one. Well, who's a pretty boy then, panellists? Certainly not Tony Abbott. Even when he winks to his host on a radio talkback show, when he hears the caller, a pensioner, who has to resort to phone sex work to supplement the pension, he looks ugly. Or should I say, seen for how he truly is. Ugly, 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 especially in his budgie smugglers. I don't think this person's a fan of Tony Abbott. And then he goes on to say, or she goes on to say, or is he? Have the left-wing press done a total hatchet job on Tony Abbott's image, and we just see him as ugly? My partner, who's a bit of a right-winger, as he puts it, says there's nothing wrong with Tony. The press paints him in a negative light. As for me, I can't stand him, or his backwards and completely stupid stance on global warming, claiming that it's not the highest of priorities, and much worse, that it isn't caused by humans. So, how ugly do the panellists suggest Tony Abbott really is? How much of it is media negativity? Marie of Surrey Hills in New South Wales. Daniel, we're going to you first on that one, sir.
Mitch, I'm not the biggest fan of Tony Abbott myself, but I've got to say, I reckon, like a lot of politicians, he probably gets a bit of rough treatment sometimes. I don't know that winking on a radio show, I don't know that's really the biggest issue of the day, compared to whether it was property or health or education. If he winks, yeah, sure, it's certainly not a great look, but is that really what we want to be talking about as part of the national debate? So I think that is a bit of a media beat-up. It's not the only thing. There was something about, I think he said he was on his visit to Canada recently. It was quite kind of embarrassing, but again, I think that trended on Twitter. So
it's amazing what we're picking up now, isn't it? And it says a lot about our population that the media actually wants to cater to that market because it's such a big superficial market. It says a lot more about us than about him.
Similar with Polly's expenses as well. Like whenever a politician goes travelling, there's always something in the paper about, cost this much, cost that much. Do you reckon Hillary Clinton gets articles in the paper about visited the Middle East, cost $20,000? Obviously not. Those aren't things I think that really should be dominating the national debate, and we would be better to ignore them.
Are you a Turnbull fan or an Abbott fan, given the choice?
Of the two, I prefer Turnbull. I prefer Turnbull, yeah.
Me too. All right, where do you sit on this one?
I think, look, we're never happy, I don't think. I think we all think all politicians are ugly at some point. They're all going to say the wrong things. They all lie. And the media, of course,
Tony
has
Abbott
the
lie?
power. They all lie, don't they?
They all lie?
To an extent.
I don't know.
And the media does have a very powerful way of portraying certain issues and images the way that they want.
The ones that sell easily.
Exactly.
What's
going to get the biggest
Paul's the expert
reaction
on this. Candice is the
and
expert.
cause
You're to blame, Paul.
I'm to blame for a lot.
Oh, we got things to say.
Oh, you got things to say. Come on now, media people.
Daniel, mate, love your work.
However,
Disagree entirely. The winking story was a cracker. It's got sex, it's got old people, it's got pensioners, it's got talkback radio.
is it a real reflection of Tony Abbott, though?
yes.
Maybe so, maybe no, but it's not the media's job to, get personal about individual politicians. It's the media's job to hold all politicians to account, particularly those in power who are paying for the spin. So it's our job as the people in the media to sort of sort through that spin a little bit, to hold everyone to account, not just Tony Abbott, hold the whole government to account. I think that's where this whole, the media's left-wing thing comes from. I'm a centrist, absolute centrist, and really I'm certainly not allied to any party, and nor do I want to be. And a lot of my colleagues, my media colleagues, are the same. Or if they are political, they don't cover the politics.
There's been a lot in the press over the
round.
last 2 months about how left-wing the ABC is. How do you see it?
I personally don't think that they're left-wing. I think that, you know, they got to present the facts as they are, and you're not going to bite the hand that feeds you unnecessarily. It doesn't make any sense. You've got to criticise every government that comes in. It's an across-the-board thing. You criticise the government, you criticise the opposition, and you go for those yarns that people are going to watch because those people pay your bills.
Those people pay your bills. Are we criticising Tony Abbott unfairly, Paulo?
No, not at all. Well, we are, if we're going to go on the wink, wink, nudge, nudge thing. It wasn't really a real story in my book.
Funny.
It was a social media story,
exactly.
and that is an important differentiation that we need to make. This was a social media story that went gangbusters on social media, and then the mainstream media started to follow it. What we like to follow and like to look at is the facts, and the fact is, Mitch, he did lie coming into politics, but then again, so did the Labor government before that, and so has successive governments before that. This is part of the disenfranchising of people from politics.
Agreed.
We hate politicians, we hate bureaucrats
Agreed.
because they lie. Simple as that.
No surprises, and all of a sudden we've got dames and sirs coming back, and he didn't even consult his mates in the party. Thinks he can
No
do what he
pensioner will be worse off under an Abbott government. They will not have $1 taken from their purse. And what was the first thing they did? Took money out. So,
Wink.
wink, wink.
Wink,
yeah.
wink. Nudge,
Fingers
nudge.
crossed, I'll make a policy statement and a promise before the election, which I won't keep. Done.
And there'll be no carbon
He's in the
tax.
media.
No carbon tax, that was another beauty.
That was another beauty.
Um,
No GST.
Two boyfriends.
Oh.
Have you ever had two boyfriends?
No.
Would you like to have two boyfriends?
No, one's enough.
One's enough? All right, when we come back, we're going to talk about the propriety of having two boyfriends. Don't go away, more of Sweet and Sour. See you soon.
Hi, great to be with you all again. We are going to give you the best, well-researched advice ever, so stay tuned.
Welcome back to Sweet and Sour. Hello, Sweet and Sour. My very attractive daughter has two boyfriends. That's the issue, as plain speaking as I can be. I have no idea how to guide her on this, simply because my husband's and my approach from the beginning has been based on our own, probably too conservative upbringing. And that is that you simply can't have two boyfriends. You can't marry two people, so why should you think it's okay to have two boyfriends? Yes, both boyfriends know of each other and are apparently very good friends too. She's 24 and certainly has the right to do whatever she wants. She moved out of home after her studies finished and she went to work for good mining money 2 years ago, moving in with two girlfriends. Over the 2 years, the girls have moved out and the boys have moved in. I hate to think what the sleeping arrangements are here, but that's none of my business, and my only concern is guiding my daughter correctly. What does the panel believe to be the appropriate thing to do here? What can come of this arrangement? Nancy of Pascoe Vale in Victoria. I hear there's a lot of that going on in Pascoe Vale, Candice. What can you...
You know more than me then,
what
Mitch.
I travel to Melbourne every summer.
I see.
Ay. All right. Can you have two boyfriends?
If she wants to have two boyfriends and both of them know about each other and know what's going on, then consenting adults.
So what's the rule?
There is no rule.
Yes, there is. You're not allowed to hurt anybody. That's the rule.
Life is hard and
Unless
life
they've got a
sucks and
safety
people get
word.
hurt.
Yeah.
Unless they've got a...
Safety word.
Safety.
How long can it go on for?
It can go on for as long as all three parties are continuing to consent and agree to that situation.
How long will it go on for? Can it lead into something? Is she going to marry one of these boys?
No, I don't imagine so. I think if this relationship lasted more than a year or two, this sort of three-way relationship, it would be an anomaly.
It will be an anomaly. Okay.
It would certainly not be the norm.
So what does Mum do? Because she's the one who's
Mum
written him in.
does nothing.
She just says, hello, yes, I'll feed the two of you when
She
you
said-
come over for
yes,
dinner with my daughter,
yep,
and
that's-
how's it all going?
Yes, and say hello and hello.
What does the normal three-way relationship look like?
I wouldn't have the foggiest, but as long as people are all good with it, then it's all good with me.
Yeah, we're in a very strange level of society now where anything goes. All the-
Almost anything goes. We do still have laws.
We have laws, but laws will change. But I wonder where we'll be in 100 years. You know, now people are doing this sort of thing. Paulo, what do you say to the mum?
I'd say to the mum, well done for bringing up a wonderful young lady.
Well adjusted.
Well, no, look at it. Look at the facts.
How greedy is she?
She's not greedy.
Not greedy.
Like
She's got two
Candice
boyfriends.
said, no,
She's not
Candice
greedy.
said 3 consenting adults. okay?
Yes, it doesn't mean they're mature. That doesn't mean they're responsible.
If this was me with 2 consenting females, I'd be a jet, a stud. My dad would be so proud of me. But just because it's a woman who's turned the tables and has got 2 consenting males who have moved in, and it's lasted longer than 2 years, so this one's going the distance.
There you go.
Who says they have to get married? Who says they're actually constrained by the norms that she set down, okay? We are an evolving civilization. They could live
Very
together in sin for the rest of their lives and be perfectly happy, okay?
The
Good on her.
chances of that happening?
Who knows?
We don't know.
Who knows? You don't
There's
know.
no research on this yet.
She's got to have faith that she's brought her very attractive daughter up to understand not to hurt them, to be communicative, to understand the needs of everyone involved in the relationship, like she would have set out. Maybe not in the idea of a three-way, and from the DVDs that I've studied extensively, they do work, and the sleeping arrangements are colourful. Colourful.
Colourful. Daniel, colourful. Would you like to be in a three-way?
Mitch, my mum might be watching this show, so so I better not answer that one. But look, I think as far as the mum's concerned here, you can understand her concern. She doesn't want her daughter to get hurt. She wants. She
doesn't recognise this pattern.
The daughter's
it's unusual.
in control of this.
She got this.
She has got this.
Look, I think she's in a pretty good situation.
Nailed it.
That's
Very
right.
attractive daughter.
That's
has 2
right.
boyfriends.
And how superficial is the mother? She's my intelligent daughter.
She wants the best for her daughter.
She just wants
yes, she does.
to guide her, but does she need to guide her in this situation? Maybe not. Maybe not unless.
Back.
Maybe if the daughter asks her, then maybe that's an appropriate time. But I don't know that she needs necessarily to get involved if the daughter is perfectly happy at the moment.
I don't know whether this can work. What happens if she decides that 3 boys are better than 2 boys?
Well, I don't know why she hasn't done that already. She's already got 2. Just add another one into the mix.
Maybe she
I don't
has
know.
and Mum doesn't
Maybe
know about
Mummy's jealous. I don't know that she can't.
She wouldn't be jealous. She's concerned about her daughter.
Well, maybe I'm just.
I can't see it working.
Look, if the
mindset
boys.
hasn't
I think
changed
if the
that
boys are happy to share the girl,
Yeah,
and
boys
they're,
are getting a
they're,
bit. They're
they're
young
cool
boys.
for that,
They're not
then
gonna be happy to
everybody's
share
to their own.
Are they?
If she's happy,
They're not happy to share. No one's happy to share. We're insecure human beings, fundamentally.
so why are they doing it then?
Oh, because when you're young, you can do anything you want, but there's no.
24 is not
ages.
exactly
There's no longevity
young,
in this
young.
relationship.
It's not like babies,
like
not
in
like
the
16.
50s.
They're
Exactly.
adults.
Sorry, I'm more conservative than I gave myself credit for. No, I don't like
I think
this
if no
arrangement.
one's getting hurt and they're enjoying themselves, everyone to them,
I don't
But
know.
you're
I
saying
think
that
people are
because
going to
your
be...
mum's watching this show too, Mitch.
How do you know she's watching?
Oh, she always watches.
My biggest critic. I don't know. All right, put your hands up. Raise your right hands if you think it's okay. Right hands up.
Yep.
What do you think, Grandad Mitch?
No good. Sorry, I'm the old fart on this one. All right, which letter do we like to give away? The pair of limited edition sunnies, courtesy of Alon Treves and Aussie Opticals. Do we like this one? No, they've got enough. Oh no, it's the mum, the poor thing.
I think the mother needs the
Yeah, the mum. Yes, she can hide in the bushes and see what's going on. There was Tony Abbott, and there was
Gimme land.
Home,
Gimme
suburban,
land.
Gimme land.
I
What do you like?
Number 1.
Number
Yeah.
1,
Number 1.
number 3.
Oh, I love number 3.
What do you like?
Send him to Rolling Stone.
Rolling Stone,
Number
number
one.
1. 3 for number 1. Coming out to Rolling Stone WA. How are children ever supposed to enjoy security of a beautiful home? Thank you to Brian. Thank you to Paul. Thank you,
My
sir.
pleasure.
Thank you
My
for being on
pleasure.
the show. Terrific to have you, Candice. Terrific to always have
See you next
Are
time.
you going to be sitting in this chair in about 2 or 3 weeks?
I don't know, we'll see. I'll
Keep
see if I can usurp you.
Usurp you. Are you going to give me dancing lessons anytime soon?
Yes, and I want to be on the panel when Candice is.
Okay, you can do
Hosting.
that.
So
Daniel wants,
it's popular,
Daniel wants
okay?
some dancing lessons too, right?
I want to be on the panel when Candice is too.
Oh, God, everybody's on it.
I don't want you anyway.
Thank all of our wonderful panellists. Thank our terrific crew. And thanks for having us in your living room tonight, Australia. Good night, everyone. Bye-bye.